Stathopoulos and Josh Phegan come together in an incredible podcast, Grow, Scale, Master.
An energetic approach to drive progress, master skills, build strengths and put the strategy back into rapid business and personal success.
Backed by real-world experience in rapid scaling to playing the long-term game of business, it's the story of all the lessons learned on the journey to mastery.
Be inspired, renew your energy and chase the future with Grow, Scale, Master.
The lifetime value of a customer. And there's an incredible guy, Con, by the name of John Paul DiGiorio.
I've heard of him.
He's worth like $4 billion.
Yeah.
And he created an interesting business that you might know called Patron Tequila and Patron, whatever. And the interesting conversation after that is that he wanted to make the product so good that you go back and buy it again. And he wanted to make it so good that you go back and buy it for your friend.
Yes.
And so when you start thinking about that, he was all about what can we actually go to do? And he says that literally, design your product or service so good that people can't resist from becoming a repeat customer.
It's true though, with like a Cafe Patron as well. How good is it?
Okay, Con. but the basic idea here is that literally this is the power of repeat customers.
Yes.
So we're in a position where you start to think about the lifetime value. So I'm going to run through, let's see whether or not you agree. You buy your first home.
Yep.
Okay, great. If you're doing pretty well, hopefully things go okay. And maybe that becomes your first investment. But then you go and buy the first investment property. Maybe you're lucky enough to meet a beautiful partner and you buy your first couple's home. Maybe you buy another investment property. Maybe you buy a family home. Maybe you buy another investment property. Maybe you buy something to downsize into. If that's 7 transactions at a very modest $20,000 fee, that's $140,000 per customer.
Yep.
If in every customer they refer you to just one transaction extra.
You double it, right?
So that would take you to $280,000 in terms of lifetime value of a customer.
Yeah.
So when you start looking at people in your database and you go, $250,000, $250,000.
Your behaviour would change, wouldn't it?
Because as opposed to,
correct,
I got 1,000 contacts.
Yeah, or I just got to make these calls and if I connect, I connect. And if I don't, that's okay, it's next.
So do you know your top 100 customers by volume? Do you know your top 100 customers by spend?
Great question. The answer would be no on both.
But we could do that.
Yeah, of course we could.
So if we sat down and we said, okay, great, who are the key developers that you might have done work with?
Correct.
Who are the key families that might have done multiple
key
transactions?
Landlords.
Yeah, all of that sort of stuff. And you start thinking about it. Okay, great. Well, what are you doing to actually then change the service experience? What are they unlocking because of that level of loyalty?
Yeah.
Now that might be the future of Parramatta property. Breakfast that you might have.
Correct.
It might be the conversation that literally you go out and you get 10 people in a room and you have a conversation over a lunch or something, but like really understanding how you can actually go and do that.
Yes.
And the lesson is that literally if you went into most businesses around Australia, don't think that you're unique. I don't reckon that they could actually write out who their top 100 customers are. And I think that literally it's because the view is that I'm just chasing today's deal and wherever that's going to be, as opposed to actually thinking about the lifetime value of that customer. And it's quite interesting for me when I meet people that are non-real estate. And I'm like, oh, great. Where do you live? Oh, I live here. Okay, great. And who'd you buy your house from?
Yeah, I always ask the same. And then they can never remember.
Often the brand, but never the person.
Correct, yeah.
Oh, I bought it from McGrath, but I can't, well, they wouldn't say that surely. I bought it from McGrath. I can't remember Rumour Monday. Of course I remember Rumour, but I'm trying to get you to think about it.
You're absolutely right though.
It's pretty amazing.
Is that because we're so transactional and that we've got this hunting mentality that
most people leave the seller at the sold sticker when they were the buyer.
Yeah.
So what do I mean by that? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the purchase, Con. Hey, see you guys next time. Enjoy the house.
Yeah.
And then they send the EA, the PA, or come and pick up the keys for settlement, as opposed to actually having a proper handoff process. So that's about 1 day, 1 week, 1 month.
Yes.
Yep, 1 year. So, hey, Con, I'll ring you a day after. Congratulations, been in the house for a day. Anything I can help you with? Hey, you've been there for a week. Great little restaurant down the road called Hellenica. I'll drop you a little voucher. Hey, great, by the way, you've been in now for a month. Hey, look, I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to back right off. But if ever you need something, I want to be your friend in the business.
Yep.
Con, I tell you what I'll do. If there's a quick listing sale, something you should know about, I'll flick a quick text, give you a quick call, let you know. Would that be okay?
It's so interesting you say that. Mercedes-Benz had a saying, and they probably still do, which is the relationship starts after the sale. So it actually doesn't start during the sale, at the beginning or during. It starts after the sale. And I think we've orphaned so many past clients.
Yeah.
Just because we've moved on, we're transactional in nature, and we don't worry. We're probably worried about the next listing, but the next listing actually comes from these people who've just bought from you or have sold through you through their own networks.
Yeah, and this is a really important conversation, is to start to say, like, hang on a second, like guys, it's not that hard. Now, we called it the 1973 playbook, and the story's been around for a little while. But it was about this guy Arthur, and he goes down to the local news agency, buys 12 exercise books, gets to the November one as an example, and in that is written every single person who's ever bought from him and every single person who's ever sold from him in the month of November in the course of his career.
And just calls him in November?
Yeah, that's all he does.
It's really simple, eh?
Now, naturally, his name was Arthur Phegan. He was actually my grandfather. And that's how they were nailing past clients back 1 years ago.
Wow.
So you start thinking about that. Why have we made it so hard? I can't find it. It's not in the database. I changed database. We've lost the data.
We spoke about it earlier, the power of focus. And I think because we've got so many distractions and we've made it so easy in some ways in terms of use of technology, I think we've actually overcomplicated it. Mm-hmm. Our job is really to connect with people, build those relationships and, basically serve them. Mm-hmm. And I think, it's just coming to mind now, we're running prospecting sessions at the moment. Mm. And, one of the key things that we're talking to our team about is when we're prospecting, we're actually not building the database or the list. We've already got an idea of who we're calling and why they want to hear from us. Now we've just actually got to do it. And I think the distraction of finding that next listing, we're so infatuated with the hunting rather than the farming. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why we've orphaned so many people.
So, but Con, you have a look at it. I'd be broke if I just looked after one transaction at a time.
Yeah, well, but you've got it. You've understood the model, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why you've got repeat customers that have been loyal to you for more than a decade.
And don't get me wrong, it's hard. You've got to make sure that you're way out in front of where your fastest growing customer is.
Correct.
And you've got to make sure that you're relevant and you're timely and you do all of those things. It's quite funny. A comedian comes and tells the same joke 2 days in a row, they're not a good comedian. A trainer comes and tells the same content 2 days in a row, they're not a good trainer. But yet you'll go back and you'll watch Pearl Jam play the same tune every time and say, how good's this?
Yeah, but what a joy it is for you to be able to evolve. And that's the beauty about what we get to do, is we get to evolve, adapt every single day. And that's the difference between the top operators and the people that, are trying to get to that level.
So how could you serve customers in new ways? If you went into this and you said, okay, great, I'm going to write out a list of our top 100 customers. Yep. How could we serve them in some new ways? What could we do?
Yeah, so, you mentioned it earlier, the future of property in Greater Western Sydney. Mm-hmm. What a great event to be able to get some keynote speakers, which, by the way, we're already talking about. Mm-hmm. But what a great way to get some keynote speakers and some people that they can connect with that are influential in the spheres that they hang out with. Mm-hmm. One. Mm-hmm. I guess the other thing is that you could actually segment your database by your VIP clients, and they get invited to, preview launches of projects, or a VIP launch of a property that might be suitable for them, or you might have them on your investment schedule. They get first to market, whatever it might be. I think if you actually took the time to, and I'm thinking about this now, our top 100 clients that refer into us, that give us a lot of repeat business, that we manage properties for, there is something that we could be doing that we're not doing that differentiates their experience from every single other agency.
Well, how about this as a concept? No money down. Call them.
You could just do that too.
I know that sounds really funny.
No, you could just do that too.
But often I'll get people who say, oh, hey, Josh, can you refer our product or service and we'll pay you every time we do that.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I'm not your sales team.
Yeah.
I said, I tell you what, if I fundamentally believe that you're seriously good in terms of your product, do you know what I'll do? I'll just refer you.
Yeah.
And do you know what? The one thing that I'm going to give you that you can't buy anywhere else is relationship.
Correct.
If you need something, give me a yell. When I need something, I'll give you a call.
Yeah.
So literally that's the old Godfather model, but the basic idea is starting to get you to really think about what are the tiers that you unlock. And so it could be the power breakfast, could be the conversation, could be a dinner, it could be literally a coffee that you have with them every so often.
Yep.
But actually know who your top 100 customers are and just run your eye over that list and say, I probably need to get in touch with them. I probably need to get in front of them.
Simple.
And start to think, do they need other parts of our services like property management or sales that we had not really thought about putting in front of them?
I think what also that unlocks too is more often than not when you go there with the goal of serving someone and maintaining that relationship, you've got no preconceived ideas around, I'm trying to list their property or something like that.
Yeah.
What it actually does, and I've done this with, I'm just thinking of, a local developer that I've got a great relationship with. More often than not, we'll just catch up for coffee or for breakfast, and then someone will bump into him and he'll be like, hey, you got to speak to Con and his team. Mm-hmm. You guys have got those duplexes. Mm-hmm. No one else you should sell through. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the beauty about these relationships, is that if you nurture them right, they'll nurture you for a long time.
Here's an interesting paradox. If you go to any real estate agent, you go, okay, cool. So let's say that you went to 100 listing pressos in a year. How many of those people did your brand sell the house to?
Their principal place.
Or are you in a position right now that you're about to steal someone else's past client?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So as an example, if I came to list your house, I didn't sell you and Emily that house.
Correct.
An alternate brand did, right? So if I came in there and all of a sudden I'm going to try and list it, aren't I stealing one of their past clients?
You absolutely are.
So why are we okay with this?
Yeah.
And literally, what are we doing so wrong as an industry to miss the opportunity here inside of the gift that is past clients?
Yeah.
Because here's what I'm saying to you. If I'm a new start across the road, like if I was coming head to head with you in Parramatta and I'm opening up in Greater Western Sydney and Josh Phegan Real Estate's we're going to crush you, bro. Like, here's the interesting conversation. You are going to absolutely own me every day of the week because of the depth of relationships and all of the things that you've got. But mate, I'm across the road trying to get one.
Correct.
But here's the key thing. If you don't look after your past clients,
you'll get them all.
And that's the most important thing to learn.
Yep.
Experiences that rapidly shaped you.
Con, I was very lucky. I got to see a guy by the name of Phegan speak in the very early days over in Los Angeles. And one of the things that never left me from that presentation is he said, Josh, the first hour of every day is in marketing.
Yeah, right.
And I've never forgotten that. And so I'm like, okay, great. So what's the first hour of every day? And that's the old school saying that nothing happens in business until the first sale is made. And the first sale that's made every day is in booking the appointment.
Yeah.
So what I would say is that literally when that daily email goes out, that's my first bit of marketing for the day.
Gotcha.
So that's my first activity. So I'm thinking about how I can get in contact with more people, have a better quality relationship and go and do those things. And that has really stood the test of time because literally if you just think about how I can make sure that I'm in front of the right people all the time, you're going to have a great business.
Yeah, that's a great one. Something that's kind of been popping up in my radar lately is we have a lot of suppliers and a lot of people that want us to use their products and services, mainly technology providers at the moment in the real estate space. But the ones that seem to be winning and gaining or getting my attention are the ones that are actually providing insights and are partnering with our business because they've got a genuine care to want to see us do better. And I just found that so interesting. It's going back to talking about those past clients or the customer service or the experience that we provide. The ones that care the most, the ones that understand the brief the most. So this is people that are cold calling me and they're just saying, hey, we've got a product, we've got a service. And I'm like, mate, I get 10 of these a day. But it's the ones that can say, hey, let me help you convert more new business managements into your organisation. Would that be important to you? Yes, it would be. Okay, well, I've got some insights that I could possibly share with you. When would be a good time for us to connect? I think the people that are going down the path of being a supplier versus a partner, they're the ones that are off track and the partners are going to win.
Something that's changing your view.
So Con, I was doing a Zoom the other day with a client and there's a little button at the bottom which was like AI assistant.
I've seen it.
Pressed it and it just said, make notes of the meeting. I'm like, okay. So I just let it make notes of the meeting. So I get out of the meeting with the client and literally a minute later, there's like paragraphs, headlines, body copy, commitments and summary on what was spoken about during that meeting.
Wow.
And I was looking at that and I was like, this is phenomenal.
That's cool.
Now, here's the alternate view of that. So one of my clients was also doing a very complex merger and acquisition. And they had a Zoom meeting about it and they turned on the same feature. And they had the person they were trying to do the merger and acquisition with. And as they were talking through all of that, that was all fine. And then that person then jumped off the line and everyone else in the board stayed on talking about the deal.
Right.
So I don't
didn't
think
recognise the voice?
I don't know. I don't think we're going to do it. I don't know whether or not that's the right thing. Maybe the numbers don't stack up.
No.
Old mate doesn't get it. You get the idea.
No.
And then literally then they end the meeting.
Oh my gosh, the notes.
And it automatically emails to everyone who's a registered participant in the meeting.
Shock, horror.
So be careful how you use technology, but I reckon it's pretty amazing, is it literally some of the summary tools. I'll tell you where I think that this is a really interesting thing. If you're going to go and pitch on maybe, say, for example, maybe a deceased estate with its beneficiaries and you can't get in front of everyone.
Yep.
Hey, Con, would it be okay if I let you just record the audio of this into a quick little Zoom meeting for you? So then that way we could forward it on to the beneficiaries.
Yes.
And so what you actually do is you go and do that. And then literally when you get out of that, guess what?
It's already done the work for you.
It's done all of the work for you.
What about vendor meetings? What about coaching sessions?
Then you can forward the audio.
We might do this with you tomorrow.
It's amazing about what's actually possible. So think about, always be open to what are the good things that literally cheap, low cost, easy to implement tech can actually do to make your world better, faster as a part of those commitments.
Love it.